Beautiful brand Siria Lake, which is actually
How impressive is this place? The countryside of Transylvania never ceases to amaze me.
And we have made it to Buzău.
It's kind of eerie. Oh my god, this is so cool.
This one's a splasher. Good morning guys from the beautiful Bran here in Romania, and yes, we are back in Bran because we are on another incredible road trip with our friends Vlad and Georgiana from Romanian Thrills, and we came to Bran to do an amazing project yesterday, so if you haven't checked out that video then make sure that you do. However, today we are leaving Bran and we're heading to a new area, one that we haven't done before. We didn't do it in the last road trip, and we are seeing something pretty unusual. Romania is full of these crazy and unusual things, and I'm excited for it. But I just want to quickly show you this view. Like, look at that. Absolutely unreal.
Before we head back on the road trip, of course, we need a Romanian breakfast of some sorts, and they have my favourite. I've missed it, the zaguska. They also have the eggplant dip. They've got loads. It's like,
you said eggplant.
Too much time. That is too much time with Vlad and Georgiana and their American accents. Aubergine. It's just like a continental breakfast, right? You've got all like cold cuts, everything you need, coffee on the way.
Yeah. This looks unbelievable. I just love a Romanian breakfast. So I'm gonna go in. I've missed this zaguska. We haven't had it, have we, since we've been back?
What is this? Basically like peppers,
roasted
tomatoes,
peppers,
all made into like a relish.
And you wouldn't think it would be good for breakfast, but it so is.
I've always said it would go good with a pasta. I still think it would. Romania seriously knows how to put on a breakfast, but it's time to check out. We are really sad to be checking out. What a location. We are just behind the Buzău mountains. We're a 2-minute walk from the famous Bran Castle, but we have like a 4-hour drive. 4 hour, look at this greenery. Look at this greenery, it is incredible. 4-hour drive, couple of stops on the way. We're heading our final destination to see a natural phenomenon only here in Romania.
We made a quick stop at the Siria Lake, which is actually
How
massive.
Impressive is this place?
It's lovely and green. It's actually a dam, and that obviously means it's big, and it's in the mountains, the country, the forest. It's beautiful.
It is so impressive.
I just can't do the colour.
It's almost emerald-like.
I think you can actually swim in it. Did you say you can swim in it, Vlad?
If you want.
If you want.
If you...
Or dip your toes?
If you won't get too cold.
Oh yeah, this is all fed from the mountains here, right?
Yes, and it's probably the driest I've seen it. You can still see the dry logs over there, right? Usually it's up to the green, lush vegetation up there.
The countryside of Transylvania never ceases to amaze me. Even in the heat, even in the peak of summer, it is still lush, it is green, and we're actually in between Brașov, or Bran, where we started, and Buzău, which is our final destination. So if you're heading between the two, I mean, just come, look at that, look at it. It's honestly emerald-like. It's actually so beautiful. Imagine taking a boat out on here. Or I think you can paddleboard.
You can paddleboard because obviously it's super calm. There's even people camping around here. Could you imagine?
I mean, you could, right? It would be pretty cool. Just get one of the, you've got the fishermen.
I think you need a skipper.
Yeah.
You could be the skipper.
But you've got people fishing.
Yeah.
It is, I mean, to camp, what a place to camp in the
You're
summer.
on your own, it's just so natural, and basically it's kind of deserted. And we have made it to Buzău, which is actually known for wine here in this region. So we're going to have to try a wine later, but we are actually going to see a few things in and around the area. And the first one are these sort of rock dwellings in sort of caves in an area called Aluniș. I don't really know how these caves or dwellings were used. They were formed by nature, by the wind, by the earthquakes, but then they have been man-carved, I suppose you could say, and they don't really know how long it dates back to. So we're going to go and have a look inside the dark cave.
This monastery is so unique. So you come through the new build, the wooden church, then you come through into one of the caves. So the first inscriptions here were found in like the 13th century, but they believe people were coming here and using it as a place of worship, even in ancient times. Like the middle of a cave, in the middle of nowhere. They've had to access it by foot. It would have taken them days to get up here, and it's kind of eerie.
We're literally in a cave. I can't believe this. This is
see
so
all the inscriptions on the wall. This is actually another part, so this is not the main monastery.
There's so
like
many different parts of the cave. That's what I mean. There's just too many.
It's a full system.
It's crazy.
You can even see all the holes that they carved out in the cave for the candles. Obviously not a modern candle like that, and even the windows that they made to look out. There is literally, oh my god, a series of caves going up the cliffside. We're getting pretty high now. Look, they're all the way up there. I don't know why they would build them all the way up like this. I don't know if it was like to deter people from coming or to keep it to themselves. We're literally on the edge of the cliff face now.
It's easier to climb.
From one unusual site to another, we are heading to more central to Buzău, and we are heading to the mud volcanoes. They're one of the top things to see here in Romania. They're also very natural and unique. I'm quite excited to see them. It's different. It's going to be very strange for us to see, and they're supposedly one of the most active, so I'm hoping to see some sort of bubbling going on the ground.
Oh my god, this is so cool. So we have made it to the mud volcanoes here in Romania. There are actually only 700 mud volcanoes worldwide, so they're actually really, really rare. You have mud, you have sand, you have ice, and you also have magma volcanoes, the ones that you'll commonly know, but there is a lot more of them than these, and the mud volcanoes here are actually the biggest in Europe. Just don't jump into them. Building like that.
There are actually little signs when you walk in as well telling you what you can and can't do. One of them is that you're not supposed to touch it, because the thing is it looks really inviting, doesn't it?
You want to touch it.
Squidge it up, but you can't because
I'm actually
it's
walking
not
on
healthy.
like the dried mud here.
Yeah, we are in these little holes. We're basically in a crater.
Imagine it says on one of the signs, don't jump in. Like, who's going to jump into one of them?
Probably you would.
Oh my god, the smell here. It's like a cross between like a tyre shop and a petrol station because of all the different gases. You've got gases like methane, and you can see behind me where they bubble up, and then when they bubble up and it bubbles up a lot, they create these little volcanic like craters which are just insane. Keep watching, just watch here. It's gonna bubble, it's gonna bubble. Look at that, it's crazy. I don't know how hot it is. You definitely wouldn't want to jump in. It's just insane. The landscape here is just hilly and very sandy and dry, and then you have like this mud formation all around here. So you can see like it's just like a volcano that's been formed, and then you've got like the wetter bit where it bubbles, and then it runs down, just like magma would. Runs down the hill.
When I said that they were active, this is what I was expecting. This one's a splasher. You got to be so careful.
Oh my god, you know this is how it forms. So where it splashes up, it hardens and it will dry in one location.
And then you get clay, right?
Which causes
or
like
mud.
the volcano type shape.
It's so cool. Yeah, it's proper splashing all the way onto the back of my legs even.
Is it hot?
Well, I haven't actually had it yet. I was just saying, it's almost.
Crazy. All of this, where you've got like dry mud, was part of it. And you've got like little craters that's formed in some of the mud volcanoes, and the gas pops up at all different points. And it actually has salt in it. It reminds me a little bit when you go away from the actual volcanoes, there's like a salt flat. So I'm going to try a little trick that I've seen online. can actually climb on some of the old dry mud volcanoes and just look at that landscape behind me. You would literally think you were on the moon. But realistically, you're in a village in Romania. To be fair, who knows if the moon landing was real? Maybe they did film it here. There are rumours. Narok. Narok. To mud.
To mud.
To mud. And G's non-alcoholic beer because she is driving. You will not believe it. I have got mud all over my brand new trainers. Let's hope it's not the hot mud and it goes through to my feet. But we have a chukas. This is the first time trying this type of beer. It's a beer from Brashov. Oh, it's good. It's pretty light. I don't even know what percent it is, which is always dangerous. But I mean, that is not so good. So, my trainers are clean, the mud come out, and we've just checked into our accommodation for the night. It's really cool, traditional, like roadside inn. It's like the place to stop if you were doing a road trip like we are, but it's not just like one of them rubbish hotels on the side of the road. It's really traditional. There's a lovely restaurant here. We're actually in the attic. We've got like a tiny little room. We've got a nice double bed, clean bathroom, small flat screen TV. It's nice, it's quaint, and we're not sure yet. We're either going to have dinner here because we're going to have a good restaurant, or we might head into Buzău town, which is like literally like a 2-minute drive away for some more like traditional stroke modern
fine dining.
Food, fine dining. So we're not too sure, but this place is lovely, really traditional, huge building side of the road. I'm starving.
How cool is our restaurant? It is so traditional, and we have a little outdoor seating area.
This is as traditional as it gets.
It's so cute, and we're actually.
Can you call it a gypsy wagon?
I'm gonna call it a G-Wagon for sure, but we're basically going to be sitting in a horse cart.
A G-Wagon. There's also inside. It is. I don't think it's more traditional than this.
A G-Wagon.
No. So sitting in a horse wagon. And what have I ordered? What are the traditional sausages of?
So we are in Buzău, right? So you cannot leave without eating cârnați de pleșcoi. They sound a little funny to every Romanian, but they're delicious.
And I've got them in a stew, so I've risked it.
Yeah, you've risked it.
I've taken the risk. I'm in this car. I thought I've got to live a little.
And you've got something really traditional.
I got ciorba de babic, which is like a dry sausage soup, sour soup.
We're living tonight. We are going for it. Good morning from Buzău, Romania. Oh my god, the food in that restaurant last night was so good. The sausages from this region are a little bit different. They're not my favourite. I prefer the normal traditional Romanian sausage, but it was great. It was another amazing day exploring a completely new region for us. We started off with Siria Lake, then the monasteries in the rock, which were really unique, and then of course the natural phenomenon that is the mud volcanoes. I would highly recommend checking them out, adding them to your itinerary if you're doing a road trip, or even if you're just exploring Romania. The mud volcanoes, incredible. They were much more than I expected. I expected maybe some small, like tiny little things, but it was vast. It was very vast. It was like being on the moon. Again, Romania has blown us away. We've still got a few days left on our road trip with our friends Vlad and Georgiana from Romanian Thrills, so stay tuned because we're actually heading to Vlad's hometown very soon.